Hi, guys, and welcome to this episode of the Just My Opinion podcast. Today, we are going to be talking, in fact, we're going to be reacting to Kosi's interview in this program on Dash Media called Hall of Fame by Leon Gadalin. So he was interviewed and he was shown a clip of a previous interview where Tony Nobody had some things to say about the 237 entertainment scene. And so he was reacting to that. So we're going to be reacting to his reaction. So stay tuned. Ambassador, what's
Yep.
happening?
Hello, people. It's your ambassador again doing this thing.
Yeah, so down the line, we are going to talk about the sponsor of this podcast, that's Echo Online. So stay tuned. It's revolutionary, and I think it's going to be very much in line with the topic of conversation, what we are reacting to, like Tony Nobody saying there's no business in the entertainment scene. So yeah, Echo Online is definitely in line with that conversation. So before we proceed to talk about or to react to what Kosi said or what Tony Nobody said, let's watch the video.
Now, you finally realized that there is an industry. Oh, first, to you, do you think there's an industry? Because Tony Nobody said,
Parce qu'au Cameroun, il n'y a pas de showbiz au Cameroun.
oh,
Il n'y a pas. There is no showbiz. Is there any showbiz? Dis-moi, quel artiste a construit des palais? Combien d'artistes ont combien de voitures? De la musique qu'ils font? Tell me.
well, we see Stanley Aino, Magasco, Mr. Leo, Salatiel.
Magasco get which kind of big car you have seen? Stanley know which kind of big car?
The other time, Stanley came with the Prado. I mean, you were...
Only a Prado. How many stars in Nigeria you know they have more than Prado?
A lot. Almost
Thank
all
you.
of them.
Thank you.
Okay.
If you say that, that means we have not yet started.
To him, there is no such thing as an industry.
Hi, mommy. You know one problem we Cameroon industry get out over Sabi. All man fi say you know. I'm sorry, this is a big border, but that's sorry to call that a very stupid reason. Like that's super stupid. Since when does a car, a house that an artist acquires makes an industry? Like I don't understand. Like I don't understand the music. I don't know. Since when, if I buy a house now, Since when if I buy a house, I get a car, it means that there is an industry. How does that make an industry? Like, how can you say that the reason why there is no industry in Cameroon is because Kosi no get big house, Mr. Leo no get big motor, Salatiel no get a big mansion?
Okay, so that's Kosi responding to Tony Nobody, saying that basically the Cameroonian, there's no showbiz in Cameroon. And he goes on to talk about the cars the Cameroonian artists drive, and basically he's not impressed by all of that. And he uses that as grounds to say there's no showbiz in the entertainment scene. And Kosi had his response. So before we talk about what Kosi's response was, Ambassador, what do you think about what Tony Nobody said?
So somehow I agree with him. I think the industry in Cameroon is weak. It does not have the structures which an industry needs to have, entertainment industry needs to have. I think he maybe put it in a very layman way. His evaluation of it and the indicator he was using was very basic. But if we want to look at the science behind what he was saying, it can be proven to be very correct, which I'd like to expatiate on that maybe down the line. Like when maybe we have discussed on what Kosi said, but I think he can be very correct if you put it now in a scientific way and then try to look at the his indicator which he was using and the various stakeholders which Kosi cited, the stakeholders along the entertainment industry value chain, I think he could be very correct.
Yeah, okay. So let's talk about what Kosi said. Then I will also share my point of view, because I think my point of view is kind of in line with what Kosi said. So Kosi is saying you cannot measure the viability or the healthiness or the existence of a Cameroonian entertainment scene, or the 237 ShowBiz, the Cameroonian show business, based on what car an artist drives. And he was like, you never know if artists are if they have bought a car, if they have a business, if they are doing things behind the scenes. And it was like that Tony, nobody doesn't know if he's doing all those things because he's not talking about it. And like listening to them, like prior to this grand opening that Tizi Panchak announced, he shared the announcement, I think it was like on the 4th of May, or like I can't remember the date, the exact date. Prior to that, I didn't know he was doing something. I didn't know he was working on this business venture. I don't know if there were people who were in the know, but the public, I think like the general public didn't know Tizi Panchak was doing something. And somebody who probably is not in his close circle would probably not know that he was doing anything. But then he was doing something behind the scenes. So it might be similar with other artists like Kosi. Kosi has made a lot of money this year, I assume, because he has had a lot of hits. So hopefully he's investing somewhere or something. He might be doing stuff, and we don't yet know about it because it's not the right time for us to know about it. And Tony, nobody's assuming because they are not driving this car, because they are not doing this, because they are not seeing this. So there's nothing happening.
So first, Kosi has had some successful hits this year, or at least a successful hit this year. Assuming that he has made a lot of money might be very erroneous, because we all thought Franco made a lot of money, but we realized that he did not have the systems in place to cash in on the money based on his success. So success at times are not directly translated to money if you don't have the structures and the people in place to cash in or pick up the money along the corridors. With that being said, I want us to look at it from a very scientific and / a study kind of approach to what they are saying. Kosi was taking it very personal because he's an artist, but that should not be the case. We are looking at an industry here which, when you are dealing with human beings, you cannot be too accurate about everybody's pocket. First, my background is in the direction of development and project work, so I know a thing or two when it comes to studying value chains. He was talking about the stakeholders along the industry. The stakeholders he mentioned, like the various arms, the media, investors, all of those things, those are all actors along the value chain of entertainment. But the entertainer is at the tail end, just before the consumer, when it comes to the value chain of entertainment. The entertainer is also one of the beneficiaries of most of the actions or activities that are taking place along that value chain. So when investor invests, so the money gets to the entertainer who can produce the final produce for the consumer, investors' money makes no sense. When the media push out information or whatever, so that song can become a hit, or they have an artist song to push, they really cannot do much. So the key beneficiary along that chain most of the time is the entertainer. Secondly, when we are dealing with human beings, I'll give a typical example. When you want to carry out a developmental project, let's say to change the lives of people around Douala, you carry out a baseline study to see where their lives are at. It's true, that's why I said let's look at it from a very scientific perspective. It's true that nobody carried out a baseline study, but just from observation, which is also a means of data collection, we can say that we know where artists' lives are at. You might want to discredit that by saying that they don't always share everything, but I'll just give a typical example. It's a business. When you put out a business, everybody promotes their business. So to say you create a business and then you hide the business or make people not to know about the business, I don't know if you are very serious about that business. A few days ago, I saw something on the Next Name Empire where the same Kosi was saying that he's trying to build a house for his mother, or he plans to build a house for his mother before he builds a house for himself. Because the person interviewing him was taking shots at people like Malops who have built houses with swimming pools for themselves when their parents don't live in very, very good houses. He said he's trying to build for his mother. So if we are being honest, most of the time, I'm using keywords like most of the time, these artists are going to share their successes and their projects. Because one, it makes sense for them to do it, and two, they're public figures and everything they do is out there like that. We cannot say all, but most of them. And from a most, we can now generalize or come to a conclusion that at least if 80% of artists share their projects, we are in a safe margin to say that we know what artists do. Secondly, when you are dealing with human beings, when you collect that baseline data about the standard of living of farmers around Douala, there is what we call proxy indicators, where you cannot estimate exactly if his living standard has changed, but you set indicators like, has he put a roof on his zinc? When I collected the baseline data, he used plantain leaves or raffia or something to roof his house. Now, a proxy indicator might be that he has now roofed his house properly. Is he driving a car? Are all of his children going to school? It does not necessarily mean that because his children are going to school, it directly translates to increase in living standard. But that's a proxy indicator to tell us that his life has changed. He can also come and say that, we can also say that, okay, out of the 10 cocoa farmers I was interviewing, one of them has their child who is abroad. Is that child that sent the money to roof the house? All of those things just to disrupt the social, should I call it, experiment or analysis we are trying to draw. But when it's all said and done, a large majority of those farmers would say that their lives have changed because not all of them have their children abroad. If when collecting the baseline studies, I realized that 70% of them have their children abroad, then that is one of the factors I have to take into consideration when coming out my analysis. But so that's why I'm trying to break it down here carefully. From the beginning even, I was a little bit thrown off from his disrespectful confidence which he approached the subject, in a subject which he might be wrong. Keyword might. So when you might be wrong, you don't come with so much arrogance and confidence like, he's very stupid, but I've not called anybody stupid here. I'm just trying to break down my own opinion of it. But him saying to nobody is very stupid and blah, 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 blah. What he said is true, like the breakdown of the stakeholders along the value chain of entertainment. Very correct. But to say that artists having cars and artists having houses cannot be used as an indicator of the success or the strength of the value chain of entertainment might be very wrong. That's an indicator of success of artists. That can be used as a proxy indicator for their living standards. We cannot go into all of their pockets, their bank accounts, their mother's houses, their kitchen, is there meat in the pot? We cannot go into all of those details. But we can just set certain indicators that we can now generalize to draw conclusions on some of those things. So for him to sit and say that Tony Nobody is very stupid, or no, he not say he's very stupid, he said that's a very stupid statement or something like that. And hence, when you say the statement is very stupid, it's true you might not be saying that the person is stupid, but on the other hand, statements are not stupid on their own hanging in the air. It's usually stupid people that make stupid statements, so we can as well say you are saying that the person is stupid. But that's not even the focus. That was an aside by saying that the confidence and the arrogance which he started off kind of threw me off, but it's fine. It's a social discussion and everybody's free to approach it the way they want. But coming back to our subject matter, I think that when all the structures, coming back to trying to grow and make things better, if all the structures along the value chain of entertainment are put into place, a large majority of artists will have better cars and better houses. That can be, so hence, cars and houses can be used as an indicator, or worst case scenario, as a proxy indicator to reflect the success or the strength of the value chain of entertainment.
Yeah, but I think the issue that Kosi might be having, what Tony Nobody is saying. Anyway, let me not say what Kosi's issue is. Let me talk about what my point of view is.
Yes.
So I think it's a similar thing to when this lady went to Nigeria and said we have a baby industry. I think it's a similar thing of people feeling like I've been working hard in this industry for a long time and it looks like you're degrading or you're minimizing my effort, or we are putting in place things, we are trying to make things happen in different areas. You saying that it doesn't is non-existent, it feels like you're degrading the efforts that people have been doing
she
for
said
years.
Baby, she not say it's non-existent. The baby is
But
existent.
I'm talking about what Tony Nobody said. So like that lady said baby.
Now,
Tony
did
Nobody
you
said,
hear my opening lines of what I said? I said Kosi is approaching it from an emotional perspective, which should not be the case. You can actually see that I was already worked up. It should not be the case. Cameroonians also react from an emotional perspective of you are now going to Nigeria, which is first our enemy in entertainment, as some of them, according to them. You are now saying that. But she's very correct. I can cite you, I've watched in this year, Don Jazzy has gone on 2 podcasts or interviews or whatever and said Nigeria has a baby entertainment industry. It was no big deal. I did not hear blogs and people carried in Nigeria. If Nigeria can accept that they're a baby industry, anybody wants to challenge it, put it in the comment section. I'm going to take a link of that interview and share it. Don Jazzy was saying, Don Jazzy is very well placed to judge the state of the Nigerian entertainment industry. And he called it the baby industry. There was no drama around it. The Cameroonians, almighty Cameroonians in entertainment, we get so worked up because she says it's a baby industry. If Nigeria can be a baby industry, why do we think we are not? It's because we don't even know what an industry needs to look like. Because when you look at the development of people like America, the structures that are put in place in the entertainment industry, why are we not a baby industry? So it's not about, we should not get emotional about, I can understand, as you said, you're making so much effort, you think you have come so far, it's your day-to-day struggle, so you get offended. But step aside. We are all involved in the industry, I can understand. Step aside and then be objective about it and then try to work on it. The true results are not in the online rants. The true results are in the work being done, the results being shown.
Yeah, definitely. Like the results in the work being shown. But I'm just saying that another point which I made was there might be some things which artists are working on behind the scenes, which like, so for now, right, Tizi Panchak's building. It shows, what it's telling me is Tizi Panchak has made enough money to be able to have that kind of building. It means that something must be right somewhere for him to have that kind of money to be able to have that kind of building. So until the next artist reveals the project which they are invested in, then we'll be like, oh, it means this person too has made enough money to be able to.
Kosi was saying, you are saying that till they reveal it, then you now know. Kosi was saying some of them don't even reveal it. Even if that's the case, I think a large majority will reveal their successes, right? Even if that was the case, and that's the pushback Leonga gave, like, they have cars, and he was like, they have cars. What car do they have? She said Prado, and he was like, how many Prados do Nigerian artists have? Is Prado even considered as a luxurious car? And with that being said, I'm not saying that you evaluate the success of a man based on the cars he's driving. But if you listen to what I said earlier on, that could be used as an indicator to measure success. There are other, how can they call it? There are other, should I call it, abnormalities or things that don't fit the norm, like people who have their money and hide it, maybe because it's from a political source, maybe it's from a keyboard source, whatever that may be, keyboard. But when it's all said and done, generally, most artists are going to share their successes. Generally, most artists, when they have money, they're going to buy good cars. Hence, we can use a car as a proxy indicator to reflect success of the artist. And given that the artist is at the end of the value chain of entertainment, it can also be used. The artist now can be used to say that the artist is making this much money and is successful. Hence, it means the value chain of entertainment is strong and it has grown or is now creeping, using our baby example.
You're right. Okay, before we proceed with our reaction to this, let's talk about Echo Online.
Yes, people, once again, I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about this over and over again, and I'll keep talking about it because I'm always very passionate about the money. You can see me really going into detail when it comes to money. And one of the things which we have to build in our entertainment industry are the various structures and tools which we need to ensure that people make money off their art. Echo Online is one of those tools. We call it the power is in your hand. Echo Online is to permit the artists to be able to upload their music, share it with their followers, build follower base, build a solid fan base. You can as well, there are other products which are under construction, like being able to create your event and sell your tickets, your merchandise, get your artist booking. All of these things are going to be done by Echo Online. I always tell people, look at the story of YouTube. The first followers or the first people who were active on YouTube made millions, I'm talking millions in dollars of YouTube. So Echo Online is a new site and app which is under construction. It's already live, but you are going to be seeing lots of changes in the next few weeks. So get on board, start to understand how it works, start to get in contact with the management, start to build your fan base and things like that, so that when it gets very active, very crowded, you have already cashing, or you have already made the most out of it, and also the direct personal care you will get or customer service you get in the beginning will not be the same when there are now 5 million people on the site. So I'm advising artists. African artists suffer a lot because most of the time, the tools which are built from out there, the Tidals, the iTunes, are not adapted to our African realities. We have to send people to America to collect our money, send it to us through mobile MoneyGram, charges are being deducted. At times somebody steals your money, we don't have publishing rights, we are waiting for people to come and invest in us so that we can organize shows, we can make this, merchandise and all of that. Echo Online, the power is in your hand. You can do all of those things just using your phone. So go on board, check out Echo Online, and come and share your good experience with us in the comment section.
Okay, guys, yeah, go check out Echo.online, get your music on Chakra TV's radar, build your following, and that way you could, once you have the hit track, it's not just going to be a hit track and it's not just going to create buzz, but actually we are seeing that you're making money because people are going on Echo.online buying your music, and so your hit and your popularity, your following is associated with the money you make. So yeah. Okay, guys, let's.
Now with the hit track will also hit your pocket.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. So let's conclude with this. Kosi's response to Tony Nobody. Tony Nobody says the Cameroonian entertainment scene, or the showbiz, I would like to emphasize on the fact that he used the word showbiz, is non-existent, and Kosi not having the best things to say about that response. And he said one issue that a lot that we have in our industry is over sabi people. And I feel like every time somebody comes out to make a point about artists, you guys should do this or do that, they always call them over sabi. And is that using that phrase, that kind of phrase, like, I'm not going to listen to you, you feel like you know too much, we know. And I feel like a lot of times that's the attitude that artists use when business minds try to get on board. They're like, over sabi, you don't know more than us and stuff.
No, but I think I'm very confident with the word over sabi, because that's a pidgin slang for somebody who knows too much. And if I've gone and studied somewhere for 10 years, or I've been working on something for 15 years, I should definitely know too much. And if I'm having better results than you, there's definitely a much that I know that you don't know. So I'm not bothered about the over sabi word, as long as he has results, and as long as he can give backings to. So I want him to poke holes in his argument, or in the argument as to why his sabi is not the right sabi. Maybe it's him just having over sabi of the right kind of sabi, and good with that.
Yeah, I think in Kosi's defense, he also went on to talk about an industry not being made by just one person, that the bloggers, the media, all those things have to be.
I said he was right in that part, the stakeholders. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah,
but I just feel like he approached from a very emotional angle, and he was already angry, and so he went in a direction which he was not necessary to go in. He would have just focused on industry not built by just one person, the various actors along the value chain of entertainment and all of that, which is very right. That's true. But attacking Tony Nobody and saying that a car cannot be used as an indicator of success of an artist or the value chain of entertainment, I don't think he was right about that. That was just because he was going at Tony Nobody and he was really angry about them saying that he does not have a car. He owe him when he has a car. How can you say that?
Yeah. Okay, guys. So, as usual, we want to know what you guys think in the comments below. At the end of the day, we are just sharing our opinions. So, yeah, let us know what your opinion is about this. Thumbs up for this video if you enjoy our content. Subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification button for more content like this. See you guys next time. Bye.